No. No, the camera. There we go. Now, tonight.
Namaste, everyone.
Here we go. We are in Kuwait, and our beautiful guest, is Roshani Shenazz, coming from Bombay, spreading her knowledge and love all around the world. And we're here to absorb the knowledge that she has. And one of her beautiful students is sitting over here, who she was talking about her for a long, long time. And therefore we decided that this amazing, beautiful person would come and visit us in Kuwait. And tonight is the first night. Tonight she's just giving us an idea about her book, Angels Speak, that she wrote from an experience in her life. Then we are going to do a meditation.
We are going to have live question and answers.
Yeah.
Of the important things that each of these beautiful souls out here want to know.
Yeah.
So that these questions can help everyone else as well.
That's great. And we have such a beautiful people over here trying to absorb what's going on. Tonight is the first night, and outside the traffic is very heavy. So not much of people, not actually the people who signed up didn't show up. Most of them still in the traffic, but we have to start because we're already 10 minutes late. So tell us, what do you want to tell us, dear Roshani?
So first of all, a big, big, big namaste from India to all of you.
Namaste.
And when I said that in the video, somebody asked, what namaste? On Facebook. And so I had to write down that namaste is not just a greeting. Namaste is the divinity within me bows down to the divinity within you. The potential within me bows down to the potential within you.
Mm-hmm.
The God within me bows down to the God within you. So thank you very much, first of all, to Kuwait and to all you wonderful souls for having me here. Thank you to Amir and Sahir for this warm, warm welcome in Kuwait.
Thank you, dear. It's our pleasure.
So today evening we are going to, as we said, have these little, small, big questions that each one of us has in our heads and hearts, and try best to see what the lovely cosmic energies and the universe wants to tell each one of us here. Then we'll go into a small relaxing meditation of tuning into our guardian angels and asking for the most important message that they want to tell you through a number. And with that number, we shall have live angel readings from my book, Angels Speak. So that's what today's evening is all about. And we open the house for the wonderful questions that have been pouring in since last 1 hour that we've been chatting and communicating out here. So who wants to ask first?
Your question, 11:11.
You can, Amir,
Yeah, okay, tell me.
if you turn to the question.
Okay.
السؤال بالنسبة للملائكة، الملائكة الله سخرهم لنا سبحانه. فبس شخص عن شخص يفرق إنه يعني يحوفونه أو يكونون مع الملائكة. فهذا الشيء هل يعتمد على الشخص نفسه إذا كانت يعني نفسيته مطمئنة ومرتاحة تحوف الملائكة أكثر، والعكس صحيح إذا كان في حالة غضب أو في حالة حزن الملائكة ما تصير يعني تحوفه أو مكانه. فهذا الشيء هل يعتمد على مشاعر الشخص أو مدى نفسيته أو شنو هو؟
She was asking about every person have his guardian angels around him, and she's asking if the person is sad or angry, does the existence of these angels around him will be affected? Do they disappear, or do they have any, they go away from him, or they are still with him, but in which way?
Okay, all right. Okay, firstly, the aspect that angels are not people with emotions. They are light beings, non-denominational light beings who have never incarnated or taken birth. So these energy beings are allocated to us by the divine force, by the supreme force, to look after all our well-being. So it is like a parent who has a nanny who's constantly there looking after the kids. for the overall well-being, and the nanny is trained. This has to be there, this has to be there, look after this, give food at this time, do this at that time. So the angels are energy beings that are constantly gifted to us from the Supreme Father to be with us at all times. They have no emotions like mood swings and anger and judgment or sadness or anything. So whether we believe in them or not believe in them, whether we are angry or sad or resentful or bad or seeming good or anything, they do not go away. They are constantly with us, and their only and only aim is to do as per the will of God, as per the will of that parent who has trained them for our well-being. So they are constantly there, but the only difference is that they cannot intervene or overstep our free will. So they cannot come and interfere in our karmic life if we don't ask for help. So we need to ask them for help. So it is, say 20 years back, we did not know about angels or things of asking and doing this technique of asking or anything. So how were they operating? It's not that they were not operating or suddenly the angels are born. They were always there. Our consciousness has started embracing and accepting them more now, and knowing about their existence and how to deal with that existence in unison with ours. So we have opened up, we have evolved to understand the subtle world or the world that the Supreme Creator has created even beyond creation and before creation. So no, they do not go away when you are angry, when you are sad, when you are bad, when you are this and when you are that. They are always with us because God, angels and divinity never judges us. Our soul is the only bookkeeper. Our karma is what judges us. So the entire aspect of having a fearful God in mind, that's why needs to be removed and released. So that we all become God-loving. So that we only do good things because we love the parent, not because we fear the parent. And that is the change in energy that they are here to help us with. Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Clear? في الجواب. الجواب كان واضح؟ في
Yeah.
أحد؟ أوكي كشف النظر.
What do you mean by karma judges us?
Okay. Karma is like this bank passbook. Okay? So you have auto debit and auto credit going on. You have opened your balance with a certain amount. Now how you spend, you're a spendthrift, you're a careful spender, your auto debit and credit will go on. When you are finished with the month, you have balance carried forward. Now what you transact in that auto debit and credit is what is judging the way your account will seem or look. Whether you're going in minus points, whether the bank is sending you sorry, balance not maintained, put in some funds. So the karma is this passbook of our soul, which is constantly in tune with this cause and effect. Everything in our life is about the seed, which is the cause, and the tree, which pops up, which is the effect. So if we put an apple seed, we cannot expect oranges to grow from that. If we put a cactus seed, we cannot expect apples to grow from that. So karma is this autonomous body which is created as many various laws. So you have law of attraction, you have law of this, and you have law of that, you have law of gravity. The same way you have the law of karma. And the law of this cause and effect is like, how you have the CID in India or the FBI in the US. It is an autonomous body which is not connected to the central government. And what does the body do? It has the authority to pull up everybody who is doing wrong and take action accordingly. So God has created this law but has got nothing directly to do with that law. And it is upon each individual who is given this personal passbook of karma and to deal with it. So it is the karma which is being judged internally by its own self. So the good comes back into the circle of the good, and the seeming bad comes back into the seeming circle of the bad. And that's how it goes on.
Thank you.
welcome.
Okay, I have a question that I asked you
Yeah.
in the beginning about being vegetarian or eating meat. Does it affect your soul or your energy?
Sure. Now, eating meat and eating certain related items in life, everything, first of all, we need to know affects us because we are a throbbing energy ball. We are all electromagnetic fields. We are emitting and receiving energy at all times. So anything that we are thinking, speaking, doing, eating, drinking, reading, seeing, everything is affecting our energy in some way or the other. So the aspect of eating meat. Now firstly also to know that eating meat or being a vegetarian is not about religion.
No, it's not.
It's not religious. It's about the spiritual or the spirit or the energy aspect of our existence. Now within the consciousness of life, we as humans, when we die and the soul is, out of the body, do we see that our body moves anywhere? Can the hand or leg move once the soul leaves the body? No. Has anybody seen an animal dying?
Yes.
Yeah? Even when the animal is cut or stabbed, some part of the body will be moving. Right? Because up to the animal evolution, we do not have 100% consciousness. And thereby, not having that 100% consciousness, the animal does not have the ability to release all the emotions for the soul to take away when it dies. So when the animal is dying, the trauma of that time, the slaughter, all of that is happening is embedded in the body because the soul does not have the consciousness to lift it away. The spirit does not have the consciousness to lift it away. For example, when we are people who have death sentences or anything, there are priests who are called to them for the last confession. Why is that so? So that our consciousness can lighten itself, so that we can confess and release our emotional baggage of that which we need to release before we leave. So that that balance carried forward is a little lesser in way of density or in way of toxins. So the same way, when we are eating the meat, we are embedding the sanskaras or the mental impressions of everything that the animal has gone through, not just by the time of death. The animal is constantly, from the time it is born, living in fear. Fear of predators, fear of being killed. The mother who is feeding, why does she not allow the children to fly till a certain time? Why are some nests hidden? So that the eggs are not caught on, the eggs are not killed. So if you see, fear is the predominant energy all through our evolutionary process that we have been carrying. And therefore, even when we reach the evolutionary part as a human in our 100% intellect and 100% consciousness, fear is the predominant emotion that is driving us. So eating meat thereby creates this density and toxins of the emotions that are trapped in the body of that animal, and thereby creates toxic layers in our energetic fields. And we embed that. We embed the impressions, we embed the sanskaras and the trauma and the fear that has been trapped in that body. And when we move away, so the aspect is, one is of conscious living, that I don't want to kill another living being. And the other aspect is knowing in awareness of what killing is doing to that being, and at the same time what it is doing to your being when you are taking that as an intake into your body, your system. So nothing is working in solitude. What is going in is not just affecting the body, but is affecting our energy system, is affecting our being, our mind. For example, when somebody drinks or is behaving in an unruly manner, we say, stop behaving like an animal, right? Why do we say that? Because it is the instincts of that part of our evolution which we are carrying within, which is trapped within us, which taps and triggers itself and comes out into manifestation. So when we stop eating, we become conscious living beings by not creating trauma for other living beings, and at the same time are enabling ourselves not to be filled with the toxins of that other living being as well.
Space or something. Right, so we're back again.
Yes?
Have any questions?
Yes.
How I know about the answer from angel or inner voice? How are you different? What the difference?
Okay. Now, the inner voice itself is divine and angelic, or God's voice, as you may call it. You may give it any name. But the difference is actually between the mind's voice. The mind's voice is different from the inner voice. So for example, if you are into a constant meditative practice, okay, and when you are training your inner system, when we have a new software or a new phone, what do? We try to learn it. When there is a virus, what do? We have to change the motherboard and reprogram everything, right? So our body, mind and spirit needs reprogramming. And that reprogramming happens through meditative work or any kind of inner work that we start. So when we start that inner work, we will be able to differentiate very, very poignantly the difference between our monkey mind, which keeps chattering, and that inner voice, which is the voice of God. So for example, the ground rule, that the inner voice will always and always be guiding force. It will be a motivating force. It will be a force which will give us inspiration and enthusiasm. It will be a force which will be compassionate. It will be a force which will never judge. It will be a force that will always and always motivate us to do next steps. It will never be fearful. It will never be discouraging. It will never be dominating. It will never be something that will put you down. So for example, even when you want to do life changes, so somebody wants to lose weight, okay? The inner voice or angelic guidance will never say, oh, you bad person, you have put on so much of weight, you have to lose weight. See what others are telling about you. No, that will never be guidance. Guidance will be to steer us. What you're doing to your body is not good. Pay attention to what you're eating. Pay attention to your emotions which are putting on weight. Take some guidance. Do some guided actions to improve your diet. Do some healthy exercises or meditative exercises or yoga or something. And even while you're doing the process, it will always nurture you. Be happy with who you are. Love your body for who you are. And while you're doing all of these processes, they will accelerate to take you to your final destination. It will never judge. So if you say, angels, please tell me this friend did this to me, you please teach her a lesson. No. Angels will never do that. But they will guide you. Pray for her and pray for yourself. Don't message her for a few days. The misunderstanding will clear itself. Or even if it is that person's fault, they will guide you. It is all right. Leave this right now. Focus on your strengths. Focus on what you have to do and don't worry. So the core of your mind, body and spirit will slowly start knowing. So a small technique for knowing whether it's our monkey mind or this, one is how you are feeling when that guidance is coming or seeming guidance is coming. You first ask how my mind is feeling. Is my mind feeling worried? Then see your body. Is my body having some butterflies, some little nervousness, some tingling, irritation, scratching? Yeah? Then ask your spirit. Is my spirit a little ruffled about what it is hearing? You will see if all three are in line, that no, everything is quiet. It is the inner voice. Yeah? We will do a beautiful exercise for everybody after the meditation and the answers, so that you know the difference. Yeah?
And you asked about the watch, wearing a watch.
Yes. There was this interesting question today which we, tell people in our meditations and also in our workshops about wearing watches and removing watches while doing meditations or any such inner work exercises. Now the aspect is that there is no time and space beyond the earthly realms. The universe is linear. When we say the only existing moment is this moment in now, there are spiritual concepts which tell you now is the only moment, there is no past and future. What you do in the now is what is translating itself. What does that mean? It technically means that there is no categoric past or future in the universe. That's why when people who are having any kind of gifts to see the past and the future, the moment you elevate your consciousness, you are able to see somebody's past or you are able to see somebody's future. Because the universe is going into that linear form. So when you are praying or meditating, what are you actually doing? You are trying to elevate your consciousness. You're trying to rise the frequency or vibrations of your consciousness, to move away from the earthly doings and things so that you can connect with the universe. So when we wear a watch on the wrist, you are being bound by the earthly measurement and realms of the earthly time. So in one side you are sitting to elevate the consciousness, and on the other side you are having the energy to pull you down and keep you grounded. So it is contradicting the energy of the work that you are trying to do. And when you get more sensitive, you will realize the very, very imperative difference in the energy when you are doing without the watch and with the watch. So you can experiment with yourself of meditating or trying to meditate with the watch. When you are meditating with the watch, you will also find far more thoughts coming than you are meditating without the watch. Because again, your energy is being bound to all the monkey business happening in the world. This trend, that trend, he did this, she did this, she said that this happened, I have to tell this to that one, I have to do this to that one. And more thoughts will come. Has anybody experienced, or everybody has experienced, that when we sit to meditate, there are far more thoughts coming that were coming 5 minutes back?
Yeah.
No, that's true.
Yeah? Because the moment the mind feels threatened, the moment the mind feels, oh my God, somebody is invading my space, the mind is more alert. There's this beautiful exercise which I just came to know of by Osho, one of the spiritual teachers back in India. And it is called the Coca-Cola method. I was very intrigued. Oh wow, that's interesting. And I had been doing that, and we do that in the workshops and stuff in a different way, but I found that interesting. So the Coca-Cola method is that you keep intending Coca-Cola, 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 and don't let monkeys come in. Okay? So if the monkeys come in, you try to put away the monkeys and again bring Coca-Cola, 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 and you keep doing that for, say, a count of 100. And you will see that monkeys are coming in on third and fourth count itself. Because everything that the mind is told not to do, it does first. Everything that we called in mental sciences, we call it reverse psychology. When you tell the child, don't go there, don't do this, the child is imperatively going to go there and jump that sofa. Then if you tell, okay, go, fall, it's alright, do what you want. The child, oh, I will fall. No, I'm not going to go there. And that's how the human mind works. So you befriend the mind. And that's why you don't tell the mind that you're meditating. So try to find your silence even if you have 5 passive minutes. And again, like everything else, we have misconceptions. That meditation is to sit like this and sit like that and do this. Yes, that is required so that you reprogram the motherboard. But actually, meditation is that moment to come in the moment of now, where we are operating in mind, body and spirit in that moment. For example, we are constantly in 3 time zones. One is the physical time zone, so you are all here physically present at this beautiful space, Kinergy light. The other is the mental zone. You are thinking, I have to do this, I have to do that, the maid will come, 9 o'clock will I finish from here, blah, 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 blah. And the third is the emotional mind, space and time zone. Oh, I have to do this, I've still not been able to do this, I came here for this evening, I hope my child is okay. So meditation is to bring all these time zones in an integrated form. In that mind, body and spirit being together, aligned, and that is meditation. So if you are walking and doing the morning jog and you are not worried about what you're wearing and what is happening around in the park, and you are in your own zone listening to that wonderful music, you are meditating. If you are reading a book and completely engrossed into every character and line that is happening, you are meditating. If you are cooking with all your passion and love and in that moment of now, not worried about the television going on in the room and this happening or that happening, you are meditating. So if we can find that silence for even 5 minutes, even if you have to go to the restroom or the toilet and you're sitting there and you just try to silence your mind, just do it. Because the mind does not know that you are going to meditate in the toilet, because mind is programmed that meditation does not happen in the toilet. So when you're sitting over there and you're trying to silence the mind, you will find that there are lesser thoughts coming out there. So yes, the inner space is the space which is calm, tranquil, quiet, loving, compassionate and encouraging. And the mind is always fearful, dominating, controlling and demotivating many a times. Okay.
There's a question from Nadia asking, she's looking at the time, it's 11:11, 12:12,
Okay.
10:10. So she's asking, what does that mean to her?
Okay. Now, all numbers exert a certain energy. Through different sciences, numbers have a different explanation. So there is a different energetic force when you do sacred numerology or numerology and work on that front. But there are energetic exertions as well, which are called like angelic energy messages pertaining to these numbers and their frequencies or their vibrations. So seeing a consecutive number, with each number has a different, we teach in our workshops all the energetic meanings of the numbers. And then how to put those meanings together when you see a combination of numbers. So for example, 1111 or 11 is the most common phenomena that is going on in the world. Because primarily number 1 and that 1111 means about watching our thoughts. And not just watching our thoughts, watching our fearful thoughts, watching our negative mind chatter, watching our worries, watching our anxiety, watching all those toxic thoughts that are constantly flooding in our mind all the time.
Okay, just a second.
اللي قالت قبل شوي علاقة الأرقام مع الملائكة ممكن ترجمها؟
هو ان كل رقم له طاقته يعني طاقه معينه. فهم يعلمون في الورك شوبس مالتهم عندها ان شلون ترجمين طاقه الرقم مع يعني كل رقم له طاقه، يعني مثلا 1 1 او 11 11 هذا عباره عن الافكار، يعني يعتمد بالافكار لان رقم 1 اللي هي ترجمه الافكار.
تمام.
اوكي.
شنو علاقته مثلا 11 و11 دائما انا اشوف بالانستغرام والامور هذه مع الملائكه، شنو الرابط بينهم؟
What's the connection between 1111, the number, with the angels?
That's what. The angelic energetic message for number 1 is watching our thoughts. So when you see 1111, that means the intensity of your thoughts is multiplied. So for example, if you are having too many, thoughts that are fearful, anxiety, worries, taking on other people's worries, or it could be anything. They are trying to tell you, watch your thoughts because universe is manifesting very fast. Cut down those negative thoughts of worries or fears. So they are preempting or pre-warning us to change our thoughts, and that's the primary, energy of message of one as a number. It has many other layers of meanings as well.
Four,
Okay.
four, four.
Yeah, each number 4 is basically a number through which they reassure us their presence, that they are there with us, they're surrounding us, they're listening to us. So if they say, angels, are you listening to me? I'm praying for so many days, this is still not happening, still. So that you may be driving and you will see a 444 number plate and it will catch your eyes or it will catch your attention. So when it does, they're trying to tell you, calm down, we are listening to you. He's always listening. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question.
Sure.
Why is fear considered a negative emotion?
Why is?
Fear considered a negative emotion when it's one of the primary reasons of our survival?
Okay. Beautiful question. Now, the first and foremost to know that nothing is...
Sorry, could you repeat the question? Because
Yeah,
they
sorry.
didn't hear it at the back.
Okay.
Why is fear a negative emotion if it's one of the primary reasons for our survival?
Why is fear considered a negative emotion if it is our primary emotion of survival?
Yes.
Right? Now, the first thing to know is that nothing in life is negative or positive in its existence. Everything was created in its pure and pristine form. And then it got adulterated. It got mixed. There was mixture happening. So it got mixed and became something else. We got adulterated through our lifetimes of doing good and the bad and the bad and the good, and it kept on. So the same way, everything in its duality that we are existing in has two purposes. One is a seeming good and one is a seeming bad. When fear is used positively, it can become motivation and inspiration. I fear I will fail, so I am going to study hard and I'm going to do this. So fear is being transmuted to motivation.
So
Fear,
it can be positive.
absolutely, because fear is not negative. It is the use or the misuse of something that becomes negative or positive. For example, the hot water that gives us a fresh bath in the morning, the same hot water can burn us. The knife that can chop vegetables at home is the knife that can kill someone. The fire that cooks in our house is the fire that can burn something or someone. So everything, its duality, has a use and its misuse. So for example, when people say money is bad, money is not bad. It is the use or the misuse of money that matters. Time is not bad, but the misuse of time is bad. So misuse of anything is what creates the seeming thing that we call as negative emotion or negative translation or negative factor of act, deed, words, intent. And thus fear, when positively used, can turn into inspiration, can turn into motivation that can thrive our very existence and take us to the next step. But when fear is misused, or when we have been given wrong concepts about fear, that is the time it converts itself into a negative emotion. That's when it depletes us, drains us, sucks us in, and we are not able to take even that minuscule step forward because we fear being humiliated, we fear being ridiculed, we fear being judged, we fear this and we fear that. So it is the same way with God. When we have a fear in God, we are constantly telling people, don't do this or God will do that. God is doing nothing. He's created and then He's resting. He's just there. All He's wanting to do is do positive work for us and to just love us and love us more. But unless the fear of God is instilled, we will not stop doing monkey business. So some intelligent people ages back thought, unless the God is fearful, humanity will not do good things. So we were instilled the fear of God. But we need to move away and just look at God as a loving parent. A loving parent who loves us irrespective of who and what we are. and our good and seeming bad things will not affect the love of that parent. Even when they shout at us, it will be for our good. Even when they steer our little car of life to go a different way, it will be because they think that's the best way. So yes, fear is a very, very powerful emotion, and it is the opposite polarity of love, because that is the way humanity has misused it all its lifetimes, and since eons of lifetimes. And now with the energies that are moving, we are being asked or propelled to move it towards a positive change, towards utilizing its power in a positive way. Does it answer?
Yes, perfectly, yeah.
Yeah.
أي سؤال يا جماعة؟ زي ما ننتهي؟